paper crafters, it's Colette. Welcome to Tuesday Tip. Today I want to show you some ways to do some partial embossing, and I am actually going to use this beautiful new die which is called the Intricate Background, and it's part of the C'est La Vie collection from Couture Creations that has been released or will be released this month. It's a beautiful, quite intricate design. It will look gorgeous all by itself, or what I want to show you today is how to do bits of it to enhance certain aspects in your card making. But first up, let's just look at the basics. So again, I'm using my Go Cut machine, which I love, and I have it already set up for embossing. So my A plate is going to go down. The next thing that I have going down is a B plate, and you'll notice my B plate is pretty unmarked, pretty clean, and I try and use those for embossing. My ones that are cut and messy, I use that for cutting. So here we have the die, and what I'm going to do is to just pop my cardstock in the die, and I'm just going to line that up beautifully, lay that on top of the B plate, put a second B plate on top. So just to recap, I've got A, B, my folder with card in, and a B plate. So that's going into the mouth, and I'm just going to roll that through. So here we have it, a beautifully embossed, it actually really is a gorgeous one, card. Isn't that gorgeous? You can do so much with this die. Love it. Love it. Ideas are flooding into my head already. But enough about that. We're talking about partial embossing. So that's the whole thing embossed. Now let's look at what we do if we just want to emboss a bit at the top and a bit here at the bottom, leaving the center flat so I can do maybe some stamping or some more decorative kind of work. So I have some cardstock here, and I have my beautiful intricate background, and I'm going to position my cardstock just where I want it to go. So I'm positioning it centrally, and I'm kind of looking at the design here. So I've got a section there, so I've got about just over an inch, which I'm going to use. I'm then going to pop this onto my platform, and here I've got my A and my B down, and then I'm going to take my second one, pop that under, and I am going to position that where that cardstock ends, just like that, and then I'm going to feed that through. Okay, so when I look at my design, can you see I have only got that 1 inch piece done up at the top. So to do the other half, I simply turn it round and repeat that process. So this is the other section, and just positioning it roughly in that same place that the last one was. That looks about good to me. And popping that down on my platform, taking an extra B, just like we did before, and I'm going to position that so that lines up with the top of my cardstock, and then I'm going to roll that through. Okie dokie, so can you see what we have? So we've got this lovely clean clear center section and these beautiful die cut edges. So we could have a card going landscape, or we could have a card going portrait. So that's partial embossing, top and bottom. Now to finish off my top and bottom partial embossing, what I like to do is to just edge the two areas. So this is the raised size. I'm going to turn that over so I have the back of the card showing, and I just position it and I do a line on the edge of that border. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So when I now turn it to the front, I have got a lovely kind of edging happening with that beautiful design. Doesn't that look gorgeous? So what if we just want to put a row of embossing in the center of our card? This is how you do it. So you grab your beautiful embossing folder, and what we do is we pop that in, and we want to position it so that looks about right. So I want to just emboss this little section here, so I might bring that down just a wincy bit more. That looks pretty good to me. Alright, so I've got some paper here at the bottom, that's what I want. And I have the same setup as before, my A plate and a B plate. My folder, which has been positioned, is going to go in now. And then what I do is I take my top folder, place that in position, but position it where I want the embossing to go. So this bit here, the top folder is not on. Okay, so now I'm going to run that through. Okay. So can you see I have now just got embossing in the middle of my card, and I will do exactly the same as I have done before. I'm going to grab my scoreboard and I'm going to, on the reverse side, I'll just zoom this in a little bit. Okay, I am going to just draw a line to finish that off. And the same on the other edge. So when I turn that over, how beautiful does that look? Giving you some ideas? Can you see how you could create a card with this? I can. There is one little technique I also want to show you before I leave you today, and that is something that I don't see very often on other companies' dies, but you'll notice on this one we've got a slit here in the middle. So that slit is great for scrapbookers, because what you can do is you can go ahead and you can actually pop your die in like that in the middle, place it down and run it through. Now what we can do is we can continue that process by feeding this through the slot, bringing it right back up to where we started. Now this design is quite a detailed design, but it's certainly much easier when you're using all of your geometric designs, etc. So this one just takes a little bit more to match it up. So once we've got that matched up, we will then send it through just as we have done before, with the same sandwich, an A, a B, folder and the final B. Roll that through. And what we have is we have a lovely long border piece for us to put onto our scrapbook pages. So that looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's a fun technique for you to actually use in your projects. Alright, so that really concludes my Tuesday tips for today on partial embossing. We've looked at just your basic embossing here, just to make sure everyone's up to steam with that with the Go Cut. And don't forget, check out in the shops for the beautiful new intricate background. Absolutely stunning, you can see that. We looked at top and bottom embossing. How gorgeous is that? We looked at how to just center emboss, and then the final thing we did is we looked at the strip embossing. So have fun playing with those. My name's Colette. Thanks for checking in. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.